Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello. Hi. Hi. It's nice to see you. It's nice. Let's talk about some shit. I always want to start conversations that way. Just get right to the talking. Let's talk about some shit. It's always disappointing to me when people talk about the weather, because that means you didn't really want to talk about anything. You know, like I was in my elevator today. I got in my elevator, and one of my neighbors got on. I don't know his name. I'll die not knowing his name. But we're on the elevator, so we look at each other, and there's that moment. There's always that moment where, like, maybe something could happen. There's a little potential in that moment, and you wait and you go, it's cold. Fuck, nothing happened. Like, you cop out. And you just say meaningless shit. You have a competition of how stupid you can be. Oh, I can't believe 8 months ago it was 50 degrees out. But what if you didn't do that? What if you didn't cop out? What if you just let the moment linger? Don't go to the weather and just maybe you could have a real moment. You just stand there and look at each other. I haven't talked to my dad in 8 years. But I'm glad you're here, and I really hope that this goes well. For your sake, because here's the thing, I could ruin your night. Let's be really clear. I have the potential to ruin your night in a way that will resonate for weeks, that will actually change. And listen, this is a lot of people. This is a responsibility, what I'm talking about here, because there's about 3,000 people here, and if I release this many people into the community angry, that could have an impact on what history would have been. Like if I just came out here and said hi, and then I just went and just shit my pants, and then I just leave, and you sit there, he's not just gonna shit his pants and leave. And the lights come on, the ushers are like, let's go, that's the show, and you're like, what the fuck, man? You'd be so upset. You'd go home yelling at the person in your group whose idea it was to come here. Why did you want to see him? I don't know he was going to shit his pants. I never even heard of that. But it's important to me to do a good job because it's my job. I mean, also you paid me, and you paid me. I get money from every ticket, so your money is mine now. I own it now, and it's gonna be gone tomorrow. I'm a piece of shit. I don't save money. If I die tonight, my kids are homeless tomorrow morning. Someone's gonna wake them up. Your daddy's dead. Get your shit and get out, because I don't save money. I think it's arrogant to save money. You shit it out. Money is like oxygen. It's not my money. It's the money. I could die tomorrow, so fuck it. I spend it. I didn't buy my mom a house. You're supposed to have that musical montage when you get a TV show where you take your mom to the, look at it. I didn't do that. She's my mom, but she's not me. Why would I buy her a house? But I'm not motivated by the money to do a good show. I'm motivated by a responsibility to you, because I don't know who's out there. Maybe there's somebody here who has more at stake than I do. Maybe there's a couple here on a first date. Maybe there's a guy here. I don't care if it's you. But I'm only interested in the hypothetical people. There might be a guy here who's been looking at this girl from across the thing they live at. I don't know. He sees her every day across the trench of blood that they live on each side of, and he sees her. And he's never had the guts to ask her out. He sees her, looks at her out the window, and she's putting out the laundry because it's Italy in the 1800s or something. And he looks at her. She's so beautiful. Unfortunately, That's where it's headed. That's the sad thing about being a guy, is that we can't have a beautiful thought about a woman that isn't followed by a disgusting thought. That's just the way that we're built. If you're a woman and a man has ever said anything romantic to you, it's because he left off the second part that would have made you vomit. That's just the way we are. Oh, she's an angel, and I want her to drown in my cum. That's just... That's just the way we are. We're designed that way. We have to be that way, because we have to fuck you, and that's kind of gross. There would stop being people if we weren't pigs a little bit, because we have to get on top of you and fucking fuck you. You gotta be kind of a pig. Women get to be elegant during sex. They lay back and they pose and they just... Even aggressive women on top get to put their hair up and do a whole thing. But we just gotta climb on and... Like, we just gotta... That's why we gotta think that we gotta prosecute the pussy. That's the way we have to think. Get on the dick train, bitches! It's the kind of human being it takes to fuck another human being. Anyway, so the guy looking at her window here, stains of various ages on the wall, little circles with dates in pencil, like a kid's growth chart on a door jamb, but very different. He sees her every day and he never had the guts. Finally, he went up to her about 2 weeks ago. He got tickets to this show and he went up to, hey, Darlene, how you doing, man? I don't know why he talks like that, but whatever. He's
30 seconds
hey, Darlene. Sometimes he just makes noises in an accent without words. Hey, Darlene, you want to go? She says, I don't know, Joey, I don't know, maybe they're saying. So she agrees to go. They get in his car, they drive and they go to the place and they get a thing that we all enjoy because it's local and gives a shit. And then I don't care where I am. I really don't give a shit. I'm not interested in where I am ever. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't even know how long anymore. I'm not impressed by the place. Like, I was in Chicago. Every time I go to a city now, everybody's like, oh, you gotta get those. No, I don't. I don't have to get anything. I don't care. The two most boring things in the world to me are civic pride and civic rivalry. I'm from Boston. That's a very divisive city. Somebody always goes, woo, and somebody else goes, boo. And I really want them both to just fuck themselves and die. Because those are both stupid impulses. I'm from Boston. I'm not proud of it. Everything bad happened to me there. That's where I squirted diarrhea in my underwear in gym class. Boston! Why would I? And if you're gonna boo a city, if you're gonna raise your voice and say boo at a performance because a city was mentioned, you better have a really good personal reason. Like, the whole city of Boston raped your mom. The entire city. Every citizen they made her comfortable and they just raped her for months. It took so long to organize. It was like a coat drive. It just went on and everybody got a thing in the mail. I gotta rape that lady in a month. I gotta get off work and men, women, old ladies. Why do I have to do this?
Well, that was short.
Born baby girls, they just fucking fucked your mom. If it gets that bad, you can go ahead and boo Boston. I understand. And even then, that's a pretty weak response to the mass raping of your mom by an entire city. You're just gonna go boo. Why'd you boo? Just not a fan. I don't like it. Was the Red Sox? Nah, they raped my mom. They all did. Boo. But anyway, I'm glad I'm here because of you, and I want to do a good show for you. That's my job. That's the simplest thing in the world to me, is that you should do your job. You should do it well. And not because of how well you get paid, but because that's your job. I never understand people when I go to a place to get a thing and they do their job shitty out of spite for how shitty their job is. It makes no sense to me. Why wouldn't you want it? Why do you have to make my coffee sarcastically? I don't just give you carrots. Hear your majesty, enjoy your coffee. You know, why? Why wouldn't you want it to go? You know why? Because you're 20, you piece of shit. That's why. Because you're a 20-year-old piece of shit. I'm sorry, but I am prejudiced against everyone who's 20 years old that works at a place. Because they just think that if you just stand there and hate it, somebody will go, oh, well, then let's make you a director. That's how that works. Just if you, clearly you're better than this. 20-year-olds are the worst people because that is a person who has been taking and just sucking up and absorbing fucking education and love and products and just giving nothing back. They're ripe like a big fat ripe orange on a tree, and the tree's like, get the fuck out of here. Jesus, this is crazy. What? Fuck you, I don't want to go. If you're 20, I guarantee you never did anything for anybody. Yes, you went to Guatemala on a school trip and they told you you helped, but you didn't help at all. You were a way bigger pain in the ass than you were any help to those. They're like, I got a mudslide in my house and I got to babysit a fucking college student. Just take a picture of her with a shovel so she can put it on Facebook and leave us alone. I had such an amazing experience. Really? Did you take from them too, you motherfucker? 20-year-olds are not interesting people. They have nothing to say. Nothing has happened to you. My parents moved and I go to school. Who gives a shit? Unless you beat cancer as a child, you have nothing to say. I'm more interesting because I'm 43. That mathematically just makes me more interesting. Just because shit has happened to me. I've collected stories. When I was 35, a woman blew me, and 2 years later, she killed herself. She hung herself to death. That's an interesting story. That's worth listening to and pondering. Because it means it takes 2 years after blowing me for the shame to be too much that you gotta do yourself in. That's the gestation period. What if every woman that ever blew me died exactly 2 years later? And some detective picked up on it. And when he realizes why, he's like, well, I can't do anything. It's not illegal to have a disgusting penis. It's just a shame. Anyway. I don't like when a 20-year-old is working, because you never get attitude from the 65-year-old guy. You ever go to Best Buy and the guy selling you a DVD player is like 65? That guy is trying to get a Nobel Prize for selling DVD players. He's amazing. You never get the 65-year-old guy like, does it have Blu-ray? Well, let me read the box that you could have read. And no, he's like, well, let's find out. You need to know that. He's so excited to help you. And he has reasons to be bitter, this 65-year-old guy. He's 65, he works at Best Buy. He had to come out of retirement because his kid is gay and does crystal meth, and he ruined his life. And it's partly his fault because he didn't accept his son being gay. That's why he's on drugs. The point is he's had a hard day, and he's still showing up at fucking Best Buy wearing a bow tie. They don't make you wear those. That's how much he gives a shit. I don't know, man. Younger people, okay, fine. You know, I'll wait and see. Maybe you'll be interesting. My own kids, I love my kids, but sometimes when they complain, I get really pissed off. My kids complain, I'm like, you know what, I love you, honey, but fuck you a little bit, because you have an amazing life. I gave my daughter Benadryl the other day because she had a rash, and it was bubblegum flavored. And she's like, ew, fuck you, ew, what are you, nuts? It's medicine! Most kids don't have medicine. When they get sick, they die on a rock with a bear eating them. Oh, he's got a sniffle, ring the bear bell and put him outside. Ew. You're fucking a white girl eating bubblegum medicine, wearing clothes made by children your age professionally. And I don't mean to say that if you're white.
Give it up for Mr. Louis C.K. Louis C.K.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Good. I'm doing well. I had a good day today. I went to the movies, and before the movie now, they show you that whole presentation where they explain that you shouldn't download movies on the internet because you're hurting all the people that work on the movies. They need to feed their families, so you shouldn't download movies on the internet. And I thought, holy shit, I had no idea. I just didn't know you could download movies on the internet. That is great news. I'm gonna download all of them. I went to the park today. I like going to the park because I can masturbate without my wife bothering me. So I'm at the park and there's these no drinking signs. And it doesn't say no drinking. It has a picture of like a martini glass with a line through it. Are those really the people causing the problems with the drinking in the parks? Shouldn't it be like a bottle in a bag?
Maine was not a part of my life. There's people in Delaware that have more connection to Maine. No, it's not true. I used to come up here and do horrible shows in tiny places, and I loved it. What? Shut up. This is a rhetorical conversation. Interrupt me again, I'll have you thrown out. I love you too. That's why. It's because I love you. As a group, that I will remove any one person who messes up the show for the rest. By the way, don't worry, the show is not started yet. I'm tacking this on at the end, time-wise. Don't worry. This is not what you paid to see. This is not what you parked. And what? Oh, I hate coming to town. I hate this shit. This is not why you argued at home before coming here. Why would we leave at 6? That's stupid. You missed it. We both missed it. That's not, you're not getting the benefit of that yet. How many seats in a row is that? Empty. There's 4 seats right in a row. 4 people. Just didn't show up. Just didn't show up. What a civilized crowd, though, that all four are just totally sitting. I mean, that's not my seat. The show still hasn't started. I grew up in Boston, and I live now in New York City, and I live in a nice building. I never lived in a nice building before. Mostly in New York, it's not nice places, and that's what you wanted. Oh yeah, you just get a shitty building and just move into a shitty place. But I have a nice apartment, and there's a nice courtyard in the building, and I'm not used to things like that. See, like the first week I lived there, I went down to the courtyard, and I didn't look good. You know, it was Sunday at noon, and that's my least presentable hour. Is Sunday at noon. I mean, this is me, like, in a spotlight. This is me, like, doing a fancy show in a theater. He put on a sweaty t-shirt. So Sunday at noon, I've been, falling asleep and waking up for a couple hours already. At some point I was like, let's just do this outside. It's the same. So I go out in the courtyard and I'm sitting, and there's a dude. I'm looking at a dude across the courtyard, and he's very rich-looking, brown shoes and spiffy. And he's looking at me like, And I can tell what he's thinking. He's thinking, that guy doesn't live in this building. He just wandered in off the street. I would have thought the same thing if I saw me. And I could also tell he was thinking about, maybe I'll deal with this myself. I could tell that was what was happening with him, and I'm sitting there thinking, please come over here, please talk to me, please confront me. I love confrontations so much. Love them. Please be rich and wrong right in front of me, please. Careen headlong into your mistake, because I totally live here, right next door to you in the same building. So he starts walking over, and I'm like, oh, this is so good. Comes over. He says, do you live in this building? And I said, no. I didn't know what I was going to say until it came out of my mouth. I just had this instinct, this is way more fun this way. So I said, no. And he goes, why are you here? And I said, I just need to rest. I'm having a hard time. And he's like, oh, well, this is private property. And I said, well, I don't really believe in that. It's like all the worst things he can hear. He's getting so red in the face, excited. He's breathing differently, All his condo owner things are happening inside. He said, well, I'm going to speak to the doorman if you don't leave. And I go, can I just let me stay another 5 hours? I swear to God. So he goes to the doorman, and I see him talking about me like this to the doorman. And then I see the doorman going, no, he lives here. It's okay. And the look on his face, it was so good. Like he was having a feeling nobody ever had before. He comes back over to me. Why didn't you tell me that you live here? I said, because I don't have to tell you anything ever. I get to say whatever I want my whole life. Those are the rules. And, also, I didn't want to ruin. That's like your favorite thing to do. I didn't want to ruin. And also, I make more than you. I just don't give a shit about myself. Anyway, he didn't say anything after that. Because, well, the whole thing didn't happen. Here's what really happened, and I won't lie to you again, but here's what really happened.